So Sony walked it back and they're no longer requiring the PlayStation Network connection to Helldivers 2 that was previously announced earlier this week, which ended up getting Helldivers 2 a mixed score now on Steam due to people review bombing it. And Arrowhead, the developer, was all for that because they didn't really agree with this. Now, this is interesting. Sony kind of gave up on this, and I think it's a good thing because it did not make sense whenever the game is not going to be available for 177 different countries, as PlayStation Network is not available everywhere in the world. So for people that bought the game, they wouldn't have been able to play. And it seems from what I've seen that Steam was doing a really good job of refunding people that were not allowed or not able to play the game with these changes. But Sony did walk it back, and now they heard our feedback, and they are no longer requiring the PlayStation Network connection to play Helldivers 2. So I think I think it just makes sense. People don't want to create multiple different accounts for games, and if this would have been the way it was from the start, which it looked like that was like they anticipated that was going to be what it would have been, but unfortunately they had issues that prevented them, and they waived that requirement of linking your account. Now, if this would have been the requirement all along, I don't think there would have been that much of a bunch of people getting upset over it. But yeah, unfortunately they did cause that change, and I don't know if Helldivers 2 will be able to recover its lost players from this, because I know a lot of people gave up on this game now because of this, and it definitely left a sour taste in people's mouth because this is not democracy. So for a game that's all about democracy. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see because I have a lot of fun with Helldivers 2. I think it's an amazing game. Arrowhead Game Studios did a fantastic job making this game. It's gorgeous. It's an absolute blast with friends. And I just want to make this video because I do think that Helldivers 2 deserves a second chance, even though that a lot of people are not going to be too happy with it now. It definitely sucks because this game is pretty great, and Sony just requiring that of them, definitely unfortunate. But I'm happy that they walked it back. They definitely listened, and I think they had to, because at a certain point they would have just continued to lose players and people would have lost trust in the Sony brand. Plus, with Ghost of Tsushima coming out on PC, which will require a PlayStation Network connection because they're going to have trophies and such through there, I think that would have damaged people's perception around the brand a little bit more. So it could have been very bad for them releasing Ghost of Tsushima around this bad reputation. So yeah, it's good that they were able to take this back, and we reclaimed democracy here. It even has its own page on the Wikipedia for this with review bombing, and it even mentioned that Arrowhead Game Studio called for players to negatively review the game. So there it is. That is a great news for democracy. Helldivers 2 is now going to be back in business, and I think that everyone that wasn't able to play the game, because it did get delisted on Steam, will hopefully be able to play it again. And I hope that Helldivers 2 has a strong footing after this little fiasco, because this is a really fantastic game. So yeah, I just want to make this video to talk about it because it's a pretty big deal. And yeah, I'm really enjoying Helldivers 2. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.